I thought I had misheard him at first. I remember staring at his face, waiting for him to laugh or say he was joking. But he didn't. He just sat there calm and serious and repeated the words that still echo in my head. "I want the house, the cars, everything," my husband said. Then he paused and added, "just not the son." Before I continue, please take a moment to subscribe to this channel if you enjoy real-life relationship stories like this. These stories are shared honestly, and your support helps more people hear them. My name is Laura. I'm 44 years old, and until that moment I thought I understood my marriage. I was wrong. My husband, Greg, and I were married for 16 years. We built a life together from the ground up, a modest home in a quiet neighborhood, 2 cars we worked hard for, a routine that revolved around work, school schedules, and weekend errands, and most importantly, our son, Ethan, who was 12 at the time. Greg was never what you'd call an emotional man. He was practical, focused on results, money, structure. I was the emotional one, the planner, the caretaker. Together, we balanced each other, or at least that's what I believed. The problems didn't start with yelling or cheating. They started quietly: distance, silence, long evenings where we sat in the same room but lived in different worlds. When Greg finally said he wanted a divorce, I wasn't completely shocked. I was sad, but I thought we would handle it like adults. I believed we would sit down, talk about what was fair, and most of all, put our son first. That belief lasted about 5 minutes. We were sitting at the kitchen table when he laid it all out. He had already spoken to a lawyer. He had already decided what he wanted. "The house is in my name," he said calmly. "The cars too. I'll take responsibility for the bills. You can figure out where you want to live." I felt my chest tighten, but I nodded. I was trying to stay calm. Then I said, "And Ethan?" That's when he said it. "I don't want him," Greg replied. "You're better with that stuff. I need a clean break." A clean break. Like our son was an old couch he didn't want to move. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just sat there, frozen, trying to understand how a man who tucked our son into bed every night could say something like that so easily. "Do you hear yourself?" I asked quietly. Greg shrugged. "I'm not built for single parenting, you are." That was the moment something inside me shifted. Over the next few days, I moved into survival mode. I stopped thinking about fairness and started thinking about Ethan. I made sure he didn't hear our arguments. I smiled when he asked questions. I told him we both loved him, even when I wasn't sure that was true anymore. Greg moved fast, faster than I expected. He packed his things, changed passwords, and started talking about timelines. He spoke about the divorce like a business deal. When I asked if he wanted to spend time with Ethan during the transition, he said, "Let's not confuse him." That sentence still hurts. I realized then that Greg didn't just want out of the marriage. He wanted out of responsibility, the kind that couldn't be measured in money. I met with my own lawyer a week later. I walked into that office feeling small and uncertain. I walked out feeling something I hadn't felt in years: clarity. For the first time, someone looked at me and said, "You don't have to accept this." The legal process was slow and exhausting. Greg fought for assets aggressively. He argued over furniture, savings, even small things that surprised me, but when it came to custody, he didn't push back at all. It was like our son didn't exist in those discussions. That hurt more than anything else. Ethan noticed the change in his father, the missed calls, the canceled visits. One night he asked me, did I do something wrong? I held him and said no. I told him the truth in the gentlest way I could, that sometimes adults make choices that have nothing to do with their children. I didn't tell him his father chose comfort over connection. After the divorce was finalized, Greg kept the house and the cars just like he wanted. I moved into a small apartment. It wasn't fancy, but it was warm, safe, ours. Ethan and I built a new routine, new memories, new traditions. Greg sent child support on time. He texted on birthdays. He showed up for a few school events. On paper, he was doing the minimum required. Emotionally, he was absent. And slowly, I stopped waiting for him to change. I stopped hoping he'd suddenly realize what he gave up. I focused on my son. There were hard days, nights when I cried after Ethan went to sleep, moments when I wondered if I should have fought harder, stayed longer, tried more. But then there were mornings filled with laughter, quiet dinners where we talked about school and life, moments where I realized that peace had replaced tension. Years later, Greg remarried. He moved into a bigger house, bought a nicer car. From the outside, it looked like he got everything he wanted. Except the one thing he gave up too easily. Ethan is older now, he understands more. He sees the difference between showing up and just providing. Recently, he said something that stayed with me. "Mom," he said, "I'm glad I stayed with you. I didn't ask why, I didn't need to." Looking back, I see the truth clearly now. Greg didn't leave because he didn't love us. He left because love required effort he didn't want to give. He chose comfort, control, and convenience. I chose responsibility, sacrifice, and presence. And I would make that choice again every single time. Divorce doesn't always reveal who is right or wrong. Sometimes it reveals who is willing to carry weight and who is. My husband wanted everything except our son. What he didn't realize was that by leaving him behind, he gave up the most important thing of all. If you're watching this and going through something similar, know this. You are stronger than you think. You don't need someone who sees love as a burden. And choosing your child will never be the wrong choice. If this story resonated with you, please subscribe to the channel, share your thoughts in the comments, and let others know they're not alone. Some losses aren't really losses at all. They're clarity.